Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
All right, let's go ahead and begin this morning mindset episode. I'm your host, Paul Markel, as the lovely Miss Alex reminded you of at the very beginning, with that really cool, motivating music that we started with. Yes, I'm looking at my coffee cup and I'm thinking about how excited I am. My favorite local coffee shop, Sweet Marie's Bakery and Coffee, they moved into a brand new facility. And they expanded, and it's a larger building. It's a larger facility, more dining area, more choices, and it's a good thing for them. But the bad thing for me is in order for them to move into their new facility, they had to close down their old facility, and they were closed for almost a month. I know. You guys, I was dying for Sweet Marie's hot coffee. I had to make my own coffee. Oh. But I survived. And what do we say? Life is too short to be drinking bad coffee. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're actually going to talk about reputations. Yes, indeed, reputations. And the reason I felt the need to focus on this is, many of you might be thinking, well, I'm an adult and, I'm older and my reputation is already built or it's not built or what have you. But I know a lot of people in my audience are younger and they may just be starting out in their careers. Maybe you recently got out of high school or you recently got out of college or you recently started a new job. And unfortunately, a reality of our current world is that everything is based upon instant gratification, instant fame, instant everything. We have been taught by, well, you name it, whether it's food, fast food, right? Grocery stores now, Walmart grocery stores and so forth. You don't even have to shop for yourselves. You can go online, tell them what you want, order it. They'll find it, bag it, put it in boxes or whatever. You pull up out front. They load it into your car. You've already paid for it and it's ready to go. YouTube, Facebook, whatever else, Twitter, Instagram, but mostly YouTube and so forth, is responsible for young people believing that fame can be instantaneous, and it should be instantaneous. The Dancing with the Stars or you name it, whatever reality TV show or talent-based TV show where you bring a bunch of people on and one of them is crowned the winner and they're given instant fame and notoriety. That's not really how the world works. I know you're like, no, but it does, Paul. I mean, I've got Amazon Prime shipping. I order something and if I'm within 200 miles of a delivery center, I get it the next day. Instant. Everything's instant gratification. You cannot build a valuable reputation, a positive, a good reputation. You cannot build a good reputation overnight. You cannot build it instantly. Because no reputation that is built instantly is going to last. You have to build your relationships or your reputation one relationship at a time. Now, I started doing that 25 plus years ago when I got into the writing world. I got into the outdoor shooting sports writing world. And I was actually writing for paper magazines. Yeah, I know. You're like, magazines made out of paper and, like dead trees with ink and stuff that you have to – they have staples in them, and you have to, those things. No internet. Yeah, I started writing before there was an internet. And I had to build my reputation with several different groups or areas or of people. I had to build my reputation with my editors because my editors needed to know that if I accepted an assignment that I was going to complete it as well as I could, as close to their expectations as I could, and then I was going to do it on time. And then I was going to give them everything they needed. If they needed photos, if they needed extra verbiage, whatever it was that they needed, I was building my reputation one article at a time. That was with the editors. Those are the people that paid me. Those are the people that decided whether or not my work went into print or whether it went into a file drawer and just sat there. But then I also had industry or commercial connections. In order to do my job as an outdoor shooting sports, law enforcement, hunting, shooting kind of a guy, I frequently needed stuff, right? I needed things. I needed objects. And you don't make any money. As a writer, if you have to review gear, you don't make any money if you go out and buy the gear and review it, because the amount of money that you're going to get paid by the editor for writing that article and shooting those photos probably won't even cover the amount of money that you would have spent to buy the gear. And since I was not in the business of giving away my time or trying to lose money, most of the time, matter of fact, almost all of the time, I would have to contact representatives from different manufacturers and say, hey, can I have or borrow blank? Can I borrow one of these? Can I borrow one of those? What have you? Now, most of the time, if it was a low dollar item like ammunition or holsters or, or parts or pieces or whatever, they just send it to me and they're like, don't worry about it. But if it was an expensive piece, they would loan it to me and I would have to send it back. And every time I asked for something, I was basically writing an IOU. I was basing that individual article or review, I was basing my reputation on that. And they needed to know, okay, if we send Paul this $2,000 item and tell him he can have it for 30 days, is he going to get it back to us in 30 days? Is he going to be reliable? And I did. And I knew what I was doing, and I knew I was building my reputation one relationship at a time. And then the third group of people that I was building a reputation with was actually the audience, the readership. Every time I sat down to write an article, I had to think, all right, I need to make sure that I am honest and reliable and trustworthy, and that I don't reverse myself. And if I ever have to reverse myself, if I ever have to change my mind, I need to explain why that is. Now, do I do things the same today as I did 25 years ago? Some things I do, some I don't. Do I use the same gear or objects today as I did 25 years ago? Some yes, and some no. And those that I've changed or things that I've left behind or disregarded or altered or whatever, I have to understand that people are watching and they're paying attention, and I should, as a service to them, explain why I did that. And what I have found over the period of last 25 years or so is that I was able to build a reputation to the point where people know that based upon just my word alone, not holding it with a credit card or mortgages or loans or whatever, just send an email or a call on the phone, that I can be trusted to deliver and do what I said I was going to do. And ladies and gentlemen, that takes time. It takes a long time, but it's worth it. Nothing good, no reputation that is worthwhile is ever gained overnight. And unfortunately, I think a lot of young people don't quite have that concept, because everything they see, everything they touch, everything they are involved in today seems to be all about immediate or instant gratification. And they're frustrated because they're not a rock star the first day they pick up a guitar, or or they're not famous the first time they put out a YouTube video, or their thought is, if I can just get that one YouTube video, I'll be famous. All the people that are famous today for a YouTube video, 2 years from now, you won't even know who they are. Build your reputation one single relationship at a time. And remember that as you're building relationships. You might think, this one guy or this one company, they don't matter. I don't care. No, they all do. Build your reputation one single relationship at a time, just like you're building a house. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm your host, Paul Markel. I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.